Moms, have you ever had a moment where you realized your kid was silently going through something difficult without telling you? Last year, I started noticing little changes in my 14-year-old son, Jake. Nothing dramatic. His grades were still perfect, and he wasn't acting out or anything. But there was something off. He used to crack jokes at dinner, show up for family movie nights, and randomly share weird science facts just to see me groan. But slowly, all of that faded. He started spending more and more time alone in his room. At first, I chalked it up to teenage stuff. Growing up, wanting privacy, needing space. Totally normal, right? But then he stopped coming down for dinner entirely. I'd knock and leave a plate at his door, and he'd return it later, barely touched. I asked if everything was okay, and he'd just nod or mumble, yeah, just tired. One evening, I was putting away some clean laundry in his room while he was in the shower. I noticed his school backpack tossed in the corner and figured I'd empty it out, toss in a snack or a fresh notebook. Just a mom thing. But when I opened it, I froze. Inside were 3 packed lunches I had made, still in their containers, still sealed, but completely untouched. One had started to mold. Another had condensation building up on the inside. The sandwich pressed flat, like it had been shoved to the bottom days ago. I felt sick. Jake always ate everything I packed. Always. The next morning over breakfast, I tried to keep it casual. Hey, how's lunch at school lately? I asked. He didn't look up. Fine. I called his homeroom teacher later that day, hoping maybe she'd say he'd been extra busy or using lunch to study. But she hesitated. Then she told me the truth. Jake had been eating alone for the past few weeks. His best friend since kindergarten, had joined a new crowd, and they'd started mocking Jake behind his back. Eventually, they said it to his face. Said he was too nerdy, too into chess, too much. The rest of the group followed their lead. I felt gutted. All this time, he'd been sitting alone, pretending everything was fine. That night, I knocked on his door with his favorite ice cream. Felt like having dessert, I said, keeping my tone light. He looked surprised, but nodded. We sat side by side on his bed, eating in silence. After a few spoonfuls, I asked softly, is everything okay at lunch these days? His eyes filled immediately. His spoon clattered into the bowl. Mom, he whispered, I know you found the lunches. He broke, completely. Tears streaming, voice shaking. He told me how his oldest friends had turned on him, how they mocked his love for chess and reading, how they started calling him robot and calculator boy, how every lunch period had become a countdown to the bell. I didn't want to make you worry, he said. You're always proud of me for being smart, and now it makes me a target. I pulled him into a hug and held him while he sobbed. My own tears spilled before I could stop them. I'm proud of you because you're kind and curious and strong, not because of your grades, and definitely not because I want you to hide the hard stuff from me. Then I looked him in the eye. But what I'm not proud of? You hurting by yourself. That's not how our team works, remember? The next day we sat down together and made a plan. I called the school counselor and we had a meeting. Jake agreed to give the school's chess club a try. Turned out there were more kids like him than he thought. Smart, funny, kind, and a little odd in the best possible way. 6 months later, he's got a solid new group of friends who actually celebrate the things he used to hide. They spend lunch trading puzzles, arguing over anime, and playing chess matches on paper napkins. But the biggest shift, he talks to me now about the small stuff, the big stuff, all of it.